So, so once again, I want to talk about another case of foolishness on the right. Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA are now promoting drinking raw milk. And as I understand, bird flu is in like 15 states now. Um, there are some moments in this modern era we live in where you have to look at things with the mindset of how can you be so stupid, you know? And I feel like it's COVID all over again. People keep telling me that, and I thought that was kind of like we shouldn't talk like that. And I agree. I think that Biden is trying to tamp it down, calm it down until after the election. The nonsense the Republican Party puts out that this is, oh, they're just doing this. I don't think Biden's doing that. I see no evidence of that. I think everybody's trying to stay down on crime going down. I think that Biden's trying to stay on the economy. I think Biden's trying to stay on how calm things are. I think he's just trying to like, hey, things are calm. Do you really want to go back to Trump where every day there was something crazy, kung flu, and yeah, like, do you want to go back to that? He's in hand. I think Biden's done a great job, and now I think Biden's trying to go into how Trump is losing it. He's not there. His speech is ramble. He mumbles. He's foaming at the mouth, and that's bad. I don't see any type of. No one's talking about this stuff. Even people I like aren't talking about the bird flu. 50%, 56% fatality rate, whereas COVID was like 1% or 2%, I think. Now, as I understand it, Charlie Kirk's trying to push this raw milk stuff. There's no evidence there's any benefit to it. I didn't know tuberculosis can be spread through uh, the raw milk. I didn't know that, and other diseases can be spread as well. Um, you know, I remember with COVID realizing that they would be. I realized it'd be bad when I saw men in the streets with the rifles and the vests. I knew that was white folks searching for the next hill to die on, which is what they do, and I knew that they would that would draw it out. I didn't know COVID would still be going on 4 years later, but I knew it took a long time. And two things. I knew that was the first one. And when I see New York firefighters dying of active, I knew that meant that this was gonna be serious. That was my oh God, this is serious. I'm like, this if the motherfucker is way better shape than I'll ever be. Especially back then, not working out at all back in living in Charlotte. If they're dying of it, I can die of it. That was my two wake up moments. I realize now they fight for tribal bullshit, and as a conservative, I wish I could tell everybody that being a conservative, your life doesn't mean anything because the Republican Party is fighting for ideas. You know what I mean? They're fighting against like our history. They're fighting against like learning about James Baldwin and Toni Morris, and that's why they want to ban the books. They're fighting for ideas. They're not fighting for people. That's why they love the soldier, hate the veteran. So Trump can say, oh, the suckers, and that's why he said that. They don't care about veterans. So what? So what if you fought in the war 100 years ago? So what? Who cares? And fighting for who? And you come home and you're poor. You come home with your legs blown off and you're poor. And you're in. Remember how they treated the soldiers in that hospital? Robert, was it Walter? The hospital they got up there. How bad it was. Yeah, that's how they think about those guys. They don't care about you. They throw this patriotic shit once a year, rah, 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 all this kind of crazy mess. They don't care about soldiers. They never did. That's why when you had them lawsuits, all them people got cancer and sick from all the burn pits in Afghanistan. Republicans voted against that, didn't they? They don't care about soldiers, man. I get it if a person tells me we didn't know about that. We didn't know about what asbestos. We didn't know what DDT was. We didn't know what leaded gasoline. I get that. But as I've gotten older, I learned Republicans don't care. Remember there was a state trooper in Washington State that retired. He wouldn't get the shot, and he was the governor says I'm dirty, and he went on Fox News talking about it and wrote a book. He died of COVID. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. They just use these people. And as you get older, you're supposed to want some kind of a legacy. You're supposed to want what you said and did to mean something, to live on. And for Republicans, it doesn't. Because these are, you know what I mean? It's like what the GOP, what Fox News has done is like raid the mental institution. So they have not literally, but they have basically found the craziest nutballs in society, and they've taken all that crazy shit we heard as kids, and they've crammed it together, and that's what Trumpism is. We used to hear on the radio, Rush Limbaugh talking about if they love legal immigrants so much, why don't we send them to Nancy Pelosi's house? I heard that when I was 12 years old, 15. I heard that then. Leonardo DiCaprio. I heard that shit when I was a kid. Now they're doing it. Now they're actually sending them to Cape Cod. Now they're sending them to New York City on buses. Now they're doing it. I always say this: when Republicans tell you something, no matter how radical it might be, that's their mindset. Just because I can't do something now, just because something's illegal right now, or I don't have the money to do it right now, doesn't mean I won't do it. Just because I can't do it doesn't mean I won't. And for them, it took them 20 years, 15, 20 years, and now they're doing it. Now they're actually doing these things. I think that, Charlie Kirk doing this, I think this is all about trying to like keep the base angry. And I think that with Biden, there's not a whole hell of a lot of things to get angry about because Biden has not put his foot down on this. I said it before. No matter what happens with bird flu, people are going to hate Joe Biden. If Joe Biden starts making moves, and I'm talking about like interior moves with the Defense Department, if he starts moving troops around, spending money on stuff, stockpile shit, there'll be warning orders, and there'll be ways for us to look at that. Dark Five can look at that. If that happens, Republicans are going to say he's trying to scare people. If he doesn't, if bird flu gets really bad, and before the election or even after the election, if he stays in office, if that happens and he has to kill a lot of animals, they're going to say, well, it's not that serious. He's doing that to hurt the economy. That's how Republicans were. I had to learn that. The stuff they get mad at Joe Biden about, they're not mad or making jokes about Joe Biden because he's not successful. They're doing because they don't care about the stuff he's doing. We live in different worlds, Republicans and Democrats. We live in very different worlds. And for them, the idea of success is based on cruelty, not upon student loans. And I think now Biden is trying to get us where your medical bills aren't on your credit score and stuff. They don't care about those things. Even if he does anything on it, they don't care. I just think that this is another example of how, what I learned with COVID. I've listened to rich white men, my whole life. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with people that have been successful and have gained things. There's nothing wrong with that in this world. Nothing wrong with that. When Trump talked about COVID and blew it off over and over again, he got sick with it. They flew him out. They have like a room for the hospital, for the president at the hospital he went to. I didn't know that. They have offices back there. I didn't know that. So if he got sick, it didn't really matter because he's just, all right, he's got to go sit down for a minute. Most folks can't do that. If you can't work, you can't eat. When Joe Rogan talked about COVID and he downplayed the vaccine over and over and over again, downplayed it for young people getting sick, then he caught it. And he was on talking about how he got, and I know this because it's what white guys do. They want to show off what they can do because that's the way of showing their money. There's two things white folks do. They'll destroy shit, share what doesn't matter to them, and they'll flaunt things, which if you have sense, that's a lot of money. When you talk about monoclonal antibodies, a Z-Pack, you can't buy that stuff at Walmart, homie. You can't pick it up on the way home. That's big money. And listening to him list it off and looking up what he was talking about, it's a reminder. It's a big club. You ain't in it. You cannot hate. You cannot like gays. You can hate Muslims. That's fine. But you're not rich. And just because a rich white man can say, I don't care about that. Who cares? I just pay the fine. I'll just get these medicines. Even if just because they can do it, doesn't mean you can do it. Don't forget that. And that was my lesson with listening to them. You can listen to them, but you're not in the same boat they're in. And, I think that's important to understand. Like I said, I understand not want to wear a face mask, not want to get shot and all that. But it's like, I joke about this with my friends a lot. That a zombie apocalypse can happen right now, and Republicans would rush into the streets and demand to be bitten. They would bite me right. I believe it. And this is another example. People laugh, but another example of this. That you're using. That's another thing. I'm a black man. I ain't got a lot of money, and I ain't got a lot of folks listening to me. So when I have videos that get 200 views, 300, 400 views, I'm like, whoa. I want to use my platform for good, for the time I have, for the time that I'm in the spotlight. Why would you want to use your platform to tell people to do something that could get them killed? You understand? Why would you? I don't understand this. One thing if you say, well, you can't prove this and you disprove it. That's one thing. Okay, I got you. There's certain parts we don't know about. Hopefully, thankfully we're staying on it with it because we have Joe Biden at the wheel, so we have appropriate leadership. With Trump, you didn't. With Trump, you didn't have a pandemic response team. With Trump, you didn't have people looking. So we lost, and he didn't act in time. So with Trump, when people say like, you don't know this, we didn't. I can't argue that. I'm be forthright with you. I can't lie. But with Biden having appropriate leadership, having the states really doing their jobs, we do know certain things. And it's amazing to me. It's just like telling your people to drink rat poison or something that maybe it won't kill you. Maybe it won't kill you, but it probably won't have a positive effect. Why do that? I mean, it's hard to understand if Republicans are just this stupid. This adds on to what they said before about the liberal tears. I remember hearing that and reading it, and just I've gotten older just thinking about just how wicked that is. For me, seeing Republicans get shown to be hypocrites. Martha Taylor Greene, sleeping with every man in her job. Lauren Boebert got a man trying to pull a boob out of her dress, and she giving a guy a hand job from a bunch of fifth graders at the Beetlejuice play. That's hypocritical. You're calling everybody pedophiles and you're having sex in front of kids. You're basically ready to have sex in front of kids. All that stuff. Madison Cawthorn getting found out and got pictures of him in the dress and all that. It's hypocrisy because their whole thing is not politics. It is the culture war. So to see them get hung out to dry for things they did while they're calling everybody else pedophiles and shit, they're doing stuff that's immoral. It is. There's something about that makes me smile. But for Republicans to push stuff like this, I don't get it. I'm trying to learn all this anti-aging shit. I'm trying to get into krill oil and I'm trying to learn everything. I don't want to give anybody information to kill them. Folks I don't like. I'm not trying to do anything to kill. I'm trying to learn and grow and use my knowledge and my time to grow and become a better person. And for Republicans, it's like their whole interest is in just dividing society and just letting everything on fire and making things ugly. This is dangerous. And it's another example of how Republicans, there are no adults in the room anymore. There are no adults. There are no people to tell them, hey, don't put that up. Don't post that. Don't talk about that. Let's wait. It doesn't exist. They're all just saying what comes to mind. And that's dangerous.